Matt Rhule just wrapped up a jam-packed press conference addressing the Dylan Raiola injury, what the timetable is. Is he going to miss any time next season? We'll discuss that. The plan with TJ Lateef going forward. A couple other injury updates, particularly on this offensive line. It is not looking good. The game plan going into UCLA, how we upset the Bruins. We'll talk about that and so much more, along with some big-time news from these past couple hours. A change in the betting line ahead of our game on Saturday. We'll react to the AP poll, all of the Pro Football Focus grades versus USC. A lot of them were shocking. A couple recruiting nuggets, and my reaction to every single Big Ten game from last weekend and their implications toward Nebraska. So real quick, this is a loaded update. Hey, if you're having a good Monday, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? For daily content talking Huskers, it's a no-brainer. Takes 2 seconds. Join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. Matt Rhule just wrapped up his highly anticipated press conference going over the Dylan Raiola injury, TJ Lateef, where we go from here, and then we'll talk about that along with all of the news from today. But let's start it off with Matt Rhule. He gave us some bad news at the start of the press conference around Dylan Raiola. Now, of course, we knew that it was announced yesterday that Dylan Raiola will be out for the rest of the season, but we thought the fibula injury was only minor, that it was a minor crack. He'd only be out for 4 or 5 weeks. Unfortunately, it was confirmed by Matt Rhule that he will have surgery in these next couple of days, that he's out for about 12, if not 15 weeks, and there are some concerns whether or not he'll be back in time for spring practice of next year. So pretty much sounds like it was the worst case scenario when it comes to the fibula injury. We know there's also a high ankle sprain, but we're hoping Dylan comes back in time for spring ball, or else that could really throw a wrench not only in this year, but in next year's plans, which should be the big breakout in year 4. But I honestly thought Matt Rhule had a really good insight around Dylan. Yes, obviously this is a terrible situation. You never want to see your starting quarterback get injured. It'll be good for Dylan off of one basis. His entire college career, he's never been able to be on the sidelines. He's never been able to observe, given the fact that for every college game he's played and he started, right? He's never been on the bench. So for the first time ever, he actually gets an opportunity to observe, to watch TJ Lateef, to say, okay, maybe this is what I need to be doing better. This is how I need to progress further. And that's going to give him a unique insight going into next year. And hopefully he'll progress with these last 3 games, not playing, but observing TJ and understanding what he needs to do better as a quarterback as well. So I thought that was a unique insight by Matt Rhule. And honestly, talking a little bit about TJ and where we go from here, man, I'm excited. I'm a little bit excited about Saturday. I know a lot of people are nervous, but the way I look at it, it's stress-free. There are no more expectations for this season. If we lose out, it is what it is. If we win out, it is what it is. The playoffs are completely off the table. We were never going to make them anyways. We've already made a bowl game, so we're not concerned about that. Really, we're just playing with house money these final 3 games. And TJ, he's ready to go. Matt Rhule talked about it, that this week they're going all in. They're not going to, put on the guardrails like last week. They're not going to handicap him like last week. They're going to give him the reins. And TJ, he's working on his progressions. He's working on the philosophy, the play calls. He's getting connected with the offensive line, knowing the cadence, knowing the receivers and their tendencies. So, man, I'm excited about the UCLA game. He's also going back home for his first ever start. So listen, it's a new era, man. It really is. It's a new era for TJ Lateef. There's no expectation. There's no pressure. Let's see what he can do. And the great part about this is if TJ Lateef is not a great quarterback, we'll just go back to Dylan next year. No problem about it, right? Again, we're playing with house money. We're still making a bowl game. But if TJ Lateef gives this offense a wrinkle that we haven't seen in a long time, right, with his running ability, if he's successful, if he breaks out, which I definitely believe is a possibility, and we'll talk about it as the week progresses, he could be our guy going next year. And we'll at least, at the very minimum, have a quarterback battle. And that's something that'll be great for Nebraska. I'm tired of just handing the quarterback job to whoever it's supposed to be, right? Dylan's a decent quarterback, but Dylan's not the guy we thought he was going to be going into year 2 of a former 5-star. So best case scenario, TJ balls out, both of them stay going into 2026, and it's a quarterback battle. And the best man wins it. And there's no, bias toward Dylan. There's no bias toward TJ. We'll just, have a true quarterback battle and see who that's going to be. So honestly, I just have a different mindset. I think a lot of people are nervous. They're like, oh, we're going to lose out. So what? If we lose out, we're 6-6. We're still going a bowl game. We can honestly make a little bit of an excuse because, the reason why we struggle is because we had our backup in there who's a true freshman. And then we'll have a successful year next year if we can attack the portal the right way. So I'm really excited about the UCLA ball game because there's no pressure, but really there's no expectations, but hopefully TJ can go out there and ball out. As for a couple other injury updates, it was announced by Matt Rhule that Gunnar Gatula is out for the season, the Huskers' right tackle. Now, of course, we know that Gunnar, he was not playing very good football, gave up, 4 sacks versus Minnesota, one of the worst tackle performances we've ever seen in the history of this program. But the reason why this is bad news, that he's out for the year, he's having surgery on his knee, is because we're really slim in our tackle depth. Because we now know that our starters are going to be Elijah Pritchett and Turner Corcoran. Our swing tackle off the bench is Tyler Knack. And after that, with Teddy also out, who do you got? You got Preston Tamoa, who's a guard, who I like Preston Tamoa a lot, but he's a guard. And then you have Grant Brooks, who's also a guard. So, yeah, not good news with the offensive lines crumbling very quickly. And also should be mentioned that Pritchett's banged up. And Matt Rhule said today that Pritchett's expected to play versus USC. Again, he's trying to work through this entire week. Again, it's the same ankle that's been bothering him pretty much all season long. So he's going to be questionable going to USC. I'm leaning toward right now he's not going to play, to be honest with you. And even if he does play, he might re-aggravate it. But we'll see. But again, not good news with the depth there that Gunnar Gatula is out for the rest of the season. Matt Rhule talked a little bit about the defense, and this is what I told you guys after the USC ball game. Yes, we gave up 200 yards on the ground. Yes, that's unacceptable, but overall, I was very happy with the defense. The defense gave us an opportunity one. They gave us so many opportunities, right? They took the ball away one time with an interception by Andrew Marshall. We shut down the best receiver in college football, Mekhi Lemon. We shut down one of the best quarterbacks in America in Nyziah. So I understand we couldn't stop the run. But if you told me going into USC that we would only give up 21 points to that high-powered offense, I'd tell you we're winning 100%. No question about it. And our secondary had one of their best games, not only this year, but of all time. Seriously. It was that good of a secondary performance. We had our best tackling performance of the year. We had our best red zone performance of the year. So kudos to John Butler, man. Because it feels like the offense has not gotten better as the season progresses. The defense continues to take step forwards. And I understand that our defensive line's not good. I'm the first one to tell you that. Every single week, the D-line's not good. It's not getting any better. We don't have much talent there. We don't have a good positional coach. I understand all that. But it doesn't mean that it's hindering this entire defense. You can work around it. And John Butler's done a masterful job along with Addison Williams, who I believe is one of the best secondary coaches in America. And we need to be concerned about potentially Addison Williams leaving us because he's been that good and so masterful with the secondary. Talked a little bit about Emmett Johnson. He said Emmett will be ready to go this week versus USC. Again, we reported on the channel that he was banged up after the game just because, again, the workload, it's catching up to him, right? Again, he's our bell cow guy. We're going into our 10th game of the season, but Emmett Johnson will be ready to go. And also should be mentioned that we're going to try to make this as easy as a transition as possible for TJ. So the point of emphasis going into UCLA is run the football down their throat. Run the football down their throat with Emmett. He needs to go off for at least probably 150 in order to be in a really good position to win. And we'll talk about tomorrow in our preview video. And last but not least, with the Matt Rhule press conference, again, just talked a little bit about UCLA. The number one thing we need to do on defense, shut down Nico Amalavia. He's one of the best quarterbacks in America. He struggled a little bit so far this year, but we know he's mobile. He's talented. He has great upside to be a future NFLer. He's experienced at Tennessee, right? He made the College Football playoffs last year, and he's improving rapidly over the course of this season. So, again, this is arguably one of the best quarterbacks who'll play all year. I'd say he's easily top 3, only second to probably Jade Mayava, and you could say Bryce Underwood, maybe Malik Washington. So, again, very, very good quarterback, and they got a high-powered offense. We need to watch out for that. And we need to put up points of our own. We're not going to limit UCLA at 10 points, guys. They're going to put up at least probably 3 touchdowns on us. So, TJ Lateef, he has to learn quick, man. He just has to. And there's no gimmies, right? There's no gimmies. If we want to win this football game, we got to put up points. And TJ, the training wheels are officially off. All right, that was the press conference today. Now let's get to the Pro Football Focus grades from the USC ballgame. We'll just roll over them. None of the quarterbacks graded out very well. Dylan Riley got a grade of a 59, which I don't necessarily agree with. I thought it was Dylan's best game of the year before he got injured, of course. Lateef got a grade of a 30, which is expected given he was put in a really tough spot. So again, I don't blame TJ Lateef for what happened versus USC. I tweeted that out. I said, to the people who are blaming TJ for us losing the ballgame, you are so inconsiderate of the situation. TJ was not expecting to go out there. The coaches were not expecting TJ to go out there. He didn't know the cadence. He didn't know the receivers, their tendencies. And that's not his fault. That's the coaching staff's fault for not getting him ready to go. And also, it should be mentioned again, he was handicapped, right? They treated him like a Make-A-Wish kid. I say that because it's true. I say that because the game plan was, hey, run the ball every single snap. Maybe you'll throw it downfield one time. And the only downfield throw he made was to Nyziah Hunter, and it was a dime if it weren't for a pass interference. So really, TJ did not grade well, but it was not his fault that we lost to USC. Emmett Johnson got a grade of a 77, pretty good. All the receivers got graded pretty terribly, which is expected. Offensive line quietly had their second best grading performance of the year. Justin Evans got a 71. I was a big Justin Evans guy, man. He had a really, really good week versus the Trojans. Spindler got a grade of a 60. Pritchett 58. Corcoran 57. I thought Corcoran had a really bad ball game, which is not too shocking with Turner Corcoran. It's even worse given that he's going to start the rest of the year. So again, he's a huge liability on the right side. And hopefully, when the pocket inevitably breaks down versus UCLA versus Penn State, TJ, with his added speed, he can get out to the pocket and make something happen with his legs. Real quick, glossing over the defense. D-line graded out awful, one of their worst grades of the year. It feels like every single week the D-line hits new lows. They couldn't get pressure. They couldn't get to the quarterback outside of some blitzes here and there, and they could not stop the run. So the D-line obviously is absolutely horrendous, which is falls on Terry Brain. There's no excuses there. Yeah, he has not improved that unit at all. If anything, it's gotten dramatically worse over the course of a year. The linebackers graded out pretty poorly, which I was honestly surprised with. I thought Buda-Wright had a really good game. He only got a grade of a 62. Vin Shavers did not grade out well. Deshaun McCullough did not grade out well either. I think Deshaun McCullough, I'll be very honest with you, I think Deshaun McCullough is one of the more overrated players we've ever had. Like, I was seeing headlines like not too long ago, like Deshaun McCullough is the best transfer on this team. Are you kidding me? Like, he's very similar to Williams Nwaneri work, and he'll have one game that's phenomenal. He's getting pressures, and then there'll be another game where he's not even having a tackle. So I don't think Deshaun McCullough has been living up to the expectations that at least we had from him in the offseason. And then last but not least, secondary grade out very well, as you'd expect. Donovan Jones was our best graded corner with a 78 grade. Andrew Marsh got 75, so you're right around there as well. So whole secondary balled out as expected. All right, going over all the storylines from today, I want to start off with this. This is not PFF, this is PFS, and they graded Donovan Jones as the highest graded corner in all of college football with a grade of a 93. So I don't know if maybe he was the best corner in college football, but again, that's high praise for Donnie. Again, he is getting better because he got exploited, man, at the beginning of the year. He got exploited versus Michigan State, exploited versus Maryland, exploited versus Minnesota. I mean, literally, the offensive philosophy for opposing teams was go at Donnie because he's inexperienced. And the progression that he showed over these past couple weeks has been absolutely phenomenal. So I'm very proud of him. I will say this around Donnie, though. I don't know if his perfect position is boundary corner. I really like him at nickel, and honestly, I think he might be better at safety. So we'll see if they keep him at boundary corner next year. But again, he's working through it, and he's definitely improving. Also, I thought it's interesting. The early line for the Nebraska-UCLA game was us favored by about a touchdown. After the news broke that TJ Lateef would be our starter, Dylan Raiola out for the season, it went from us being up a touchdown to us being not favored. We are the underdog on the road versus UCLA by about 3 points. So that's crazy. And honestly, I think that line will probably increase for UCLA as the week progresses. I wouldn't be shocked by game time if it goes to about 4.5, 5.5. So hey, man, added fuel to the fire. And I'll tell you right now, we are not an underdog. We should beat UCLA. We really should. We have more talent than them. We're better coached than them. Yeah, they're on an odd streak. Cool, but still, I mean, that's a fairy tale, right? That's a Cinderella story. If we come ready to play, we should win by multiple touchdowns. We should, even with TJ Lateef starting. I'm not even worried about TJ Lateef. All the other factors, the running game, the defense, it's more than just a quarterback. And we should beat UCLA handily if we do what we're supposed to do. Glossing over the AP poll from this past week. Honestly, I've not seen it yet, so I'm looking over this for the first time. Nothing really new at all. Let's see. Yeah, nothing new. Michigan 21. Again, I'm hoping Michigan continues to win, right? It makes us look good, given that's a quality loss, I suppose. Cincinnati still ranked. That's interesting. They lost to Utah in a really, really embarrassing fashion. Iowa almost ranked. They're going to lose to Oregon this weekend. They'll probably lose to USC too. So they're going to probably be in a losing streak when we end up playing them. Other than that, I mean, nothing too crazy in the AP poll. Of course, Nebraska not receiving any votes, as you would expect. All right, a couple other things I want to get to. Branson Hudson, who is a 2030 tight end, just received an offer from Nebraska. Now, you're probably asking, Wilson, why are you reporting on this as a 2030 prospect? Well, look at the last name real quick. Hudson. Who's another Hudson that Nebraska's recruiting? Maybe another tight end? AHMAD Hudson. We just offered his brother, who's Branson Hudson, again, 3 years younger than him. It was his first ever offer. It was a strategic offer. It was a strategic move saying, hey, you know what? We want you so bad, AHMAD. We're going to offer your brother as well. And we're going to be the first one to do it. And AHMAD quote tweeted that. He said, this is family. I feel like things are happening pretty quickly. So, again, I'm just saying, Nebraska, they're in their bag recruiting AHMAD Hudson. We're now the favorite, as we reported on the channel yesterday, or excuse me, earlier today. Big time recruiting update. If you haven't watched that already, make sure to watch that after this video. But again, we are number one now in the AHMAD Hudson sweepstakes. Also, just wanted to react to this. Auburn fires Hugh Freeze. Again, all the people who always freak out about Nebraska. Oh, we're dysfunctional. Oh, we're this, we're that. It always could be worse. Because we have seen coaches get fired on back-to-back weekends with Brian Kelly, Billy Napier, James Franklin, now Hugh Freeze, and Auburn. We're going to poach a lot of those players. A lot of players on that team in that recruiting class, Nebraska may or may not go after. So that's definitely has some huge Husker implications. And really quick, going over all the Big Ten games today, or excuse me, this weekend, and what they mean for Nebraska. We know that Ohio State absolutely blew up Penn State. I mean, that was actually a ball game for the first half. Penn State flashed their talent, but again, still, we should beat Penn State. We really should. I know a lot of people are worried about, Katron Allen. They're worried about Nick Singleton, but again, their defense is one of the worst in the Big Ten. They're crumbling from a culture standpoint. Yeah, we should beat them. I don't think they're going to win another game. I really don't. They got a backup quarterback as well as their starter, who's really not that good. Indiana absolutely blew up Maryland. Wow, we're so lucky we don't play Indiana this year, but guess what? We're playing them next year. But yeah, that one wasn't even close. Then we have Purdue actually gave Michigan a fight. That's why I was honestly shocked that Michigan, I think they moved up in the rankings or they stayed where they were. Like, they almost lost this ball game to Purdue, which is, I mean, obviously one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. So that just, honestly, I think this just shows you the difference in college football from yesteryears to now. Even though Michigan has way more talent than Purdue, they have way more resources. Now with the transfer portal, there's more parity than ever. These rosters are not as deep as what they were a couple years ago. So for that reason, all these ball games are closer. And it's going to be close ball games every single week, no matter how good you are. Okay, even like, the Penn State game was close. Even, the Indiana game, this was a close game, for the first quarter, right? It was 7-3 going into the second quarter. So, again, there's a lot more parity in college football. Nebraska has to adjust. And honestly, some teams are just going to have down years because of it. Because with the portal, you might not always be ready to go every single season. And you're seeing that right now with Penn State. And then last but not least, Michigan State lost to Minnesota in a thriller on overtime. We were watching that at Memorial Stadium right before the USC ball game. They were playing on the big screen. And when Minnesota won on that walk-off, the entire stadium groaned. So, yeah, man, I honestly thought Michigan State was going to win this one. I'm not shocked that it was as close as it is. Both teams are terrible. Don't let the record fool you for Minnesota. They're not very good, even though they blew us out. And then, obviously, Michigan State's terrible. They're probably going to fire their head coach, Jonathan Smith. And then real quick, the other games from the weekend. Again, I didn't watch too many of them because I was so focused on us beating USC. And unfortunately, we know what happened there. But anything else? Oklahoma beat Tennessee. Virginia beat Cal. Again, Cincinnati got blown out by Utah. Cincinnati, you're not even making us look good. I told you guys, I don't think Cincinnati's that good of a team. I just think they're taking advantage of an easy schedule. And they played pretty much the first hard squad of the year and they lost. But hey, man, kudos to them for at least making us look good for the majority of the year. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. We got a loaded week, man. We got a loaded week. A lot to talk about in regards to Lateef, Raiola, and his future. Yeah, man, loaded week. Lots of content. So if you're not subscribed, now's the time. Hit that subscribe button. We'll have a UCLA preview come out tomorrow morning. That'll be a big one, and I will see you then. All right, guys, go big red. Go my roll. Comment your thoughts down below. Hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.